corruption is not coming under control even if we have taken these measures. Same thing, let's say Pooja Khedkar case, RTI ने expose तो कर दिया, लेकिन what is the effect? What do you understand by probity in governance? 2015 question. So in state of, let's say, so we have this setting of vigilance cell, commissions, RTI, active media, strengthening legal mechanisms. Corrupt practices are not coming under control. It is also acknowledgement of this fact. Right? Question is itself acknowledging this fact that corruption is not coming under control even if we have taken these measures. This evaluate the effectiveness of these measures. 150 words में मतलब दोनों क्वेश्चन लिखना है. Suggest more effective strategies. लिखा है 150 words. This anyhow, so why corruption has not, let's say, that decreased, or what is your view on this? So what but ये सब तो लिख नहीं सकते. Loopholes in the system. Change.
Corruption leads the powerful. Upstream, downstream, ऊपर के लोग corruption करते हैं.
Yes, corruption is also at lower level. Grade. Let's say that we have this main aspect is generally I say this. We are trying to bring institutional changes, but behavioral changes do not match. Behavioral changes. The behavioral changes eroded, rather behavioral changes. Behavioral changes. तो बिहेवियर में बहुत ज्यादा चेंज आया नहीं. Rather behavior has even gone down. Institutions have been created. जैसे लोकपाल क्रिएट हो गया है. बट पता है कि अभी तक लोकपाल कोई केस ही नहीं कर सकता. Lokpal has not ordered even a single case way to, let's say, prosecute, arrest someone. Even a single case, you should know that. Till this. So that is what institution has been created. Lots of, let's say, that ki protest happened for creation of Lokpal. But what it does? This same thing, let's say, Pooja Khedkar case. RTI ने expose तो कर दिया, लेकिन what is the effect? So effect is somehow lacking, let's say, this we can consider. There can be this we can say. So merely creating institutions or initiatives and taking reforms, so those things may not help, right? Unless we focus on behavioral aspects. This. But that thing we'll talk in the case of, let's say, called, once we'll take corruption wala part, like, there we'll tell some behavioral wala changes also like this. So that is what we can say this, right? It can, in nutshell, it can be observed that, in nutshell, it can be concluded that, behavioral changes have not come along with institutional changes, and that's why there is emphasis on promotion of probity in governance. Promotion of probity in governance. Promotion of probity governance. This. So you'll find this question is, what do you understand by probity in public life? So you can define now. This soundness of moral principles. What are difficulties in practicing it? This in present times, how can these difficulties be overcome? It is asking like this. What do you understand by probity in governance? Based on your understanding of the term, suggest measures for ensuring probity in governance. How to promote probity in governance? 7 principles that you can consider. Now, probity is essential for effective system of governance and socio-economic development. Discuss that. These are 3 times questions asked only on probity, plus once minimum they have asked in terminology probity. If I remember, so maximum, let's say, probity they have used 4 times. This. And it remains an important. Again, they will ask, let's say that. This, although we'll deal that, but yes, this probity in public life. We'll find this. So once a question is asked, another time it is asked as like this. Right. What are the barriers? Let's barriers in practice of probity in governance. Barriers in practice of probity in governance. What could be the barriers?
Conflict of interest. Internal conflict of interest. Decline. You are being ordered by
Conflict of interest कैसे barrier होगा?
Discretion है ना, public servant के पास में, it leads to more tilted towards personal benefits.
Probity को practice करने में, right? Rather you say that कि first can be that कि ego needs barriers. Let's say first we can link with human nature. Let's write first human nature. Human nature as selfish, greedy with ego needs. In bracket, Hobbesian and utilitarian utilitarian philosophy. ये तो ग्रेड वाला हो गया. नेक्स्ट, institutionalize corruption. Institutionalize corruption. Corruption, which dominates over personal integrity. Personal integrity. Next, honesty is not protected and generally rewarded. Honesty is not protected and generally rewarded. Rewarded. Lack of culture of appreciating. Lack of culture of appreciation. Appreciation of whistleblowers. Whistleblowers. Like Satyendra Dubey and Shanmugam Manjunath. Satyendra Dubey and Shanmugam Manjunath. Shanmugam Manjunath. Right. So they are, let's say, this is the modern case, you'll know this. They are the whistleblowers. We'll teach you also in whistleblowing. An example has multi places. It's reference, you know that. So because these are the, अब अगर दूसरा कोई example दोगे तो वो इतना ज़्यादा effective नहीं होगा. तो we are bound to repeat them here and there. अगर इंडिया में whistle blowing की बात होती है, that is the obvious name. This, खासकर public service के लिए, right? World में बात होता है तो Snowden, whistle blowing, this. So that way it may repeat it, let's say here and there. बट अप्रिसिएशन नहीं होता है. तो जब अप्रिसिएशन नहीं होगा, इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज करप्शन हम लोगों ने बोला है इंटीग्रिटी वाले चैप्टर में, व्हाइल टीचिंग इंटीग्रिटी. तो हाउ देयर इज इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज करप्शन? दिस इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज करप्शन मीन्स लेट्स से दैट कि इट इज फिक्स्ड, सर्टेन परसेंटेज आर फिक्स्ड. Like if you want to give contract, the 30% is fixed. Of 30% you have to pay first. Right. If you are ready to pay 30%, then you are going to get contract. Yes. And now that 30% is channelized. That 30% is channelized. Now you come as a single officer. You are honest. What you will try to do? So you will not allow it. When you will not allow it, all other officers have habit of taking that share. They will be upset. When they will be upset, they will try to find out loopholes in you. And once they will find loopholes, you know what they will do? They will persecute you, harass you. So persecution, harassment, this and that. Even एक तो case study भी आया है. Similar case study where one civil servant in real life has experience. तो UPSC ने भी एक case study पूछा है कि अगर women member है तो he will, let's say that she will level a charge against you of harassment. This ऐसा होता है. They will use that women, and if women belong to scheduled caste, you are gone. Right. So if you think, let's say that there are so many hurdles, let's say if you talk hurdles, let's say the hurdles are like generally I keep sharing, one of our student is in one public service at a state level. He keeps sharing all these things. He is so troubled, harassed, persecuted that he always remains in tension. Many a time he thinks to quit this. that aspect. But he cannot quit. There are social, economic, let's say there are things in society, isn't it? Now he is, let's say that now father also means generally recently got one baby. So अब तो और भी रिजाइन नहीं कर सकता है, राइट. उसके पहले टेंशन था रिजाइन करेगा तो डाउरी वापस देना पड़ेगा. That is how right. So there are various social obligations that keeps you in service. Right, motivation. डाउरी उन्होंने ले लिया, वो जबरदस्ती दे रही. राइट. जब जबरदस्ती दे दिया, उन्होंने लौटा भी दिया था, कुछ महंगी गाड़ी वगैरह भी दिया था, राइट. फिर भी वो लौटा दिया उन्होंने. यस. तो that aspect you can consider. So he spends in 12 months, 1 month salary goes in his office expenses. He is so honest. Right? अब देखते हैं कि उसका ऑनेस्टी कब तक चलता है. राइट. इसलिए कि ऑफिस में जो भी आते हैं गेस्ट वगैरह, जो थोड़े हाई प्रोफाइल के लोग आते हैं, तो गवर्नमेंट तो पैसा देती नहीं है चाय वाय के लिए. And if you do not ask them to take tea, this, that, they will feel you do not have etiquette and others, etc. like this. Right? But government does not facilitate these things. You should know. So when people are corrupt, so they use different means. Right? But when you are honest, so you have to spend from your own pocket. Right? Anyhow, he right. So these are, let's say, this is how I'll find this. Let's write next point. And it's soft nature of state. Soft nature of state. Nature of nexus corruption. Quid pro quo. Nexus corruption. Quid pro quo. Quid pro quo. This. That is how you can say. How to overcome. Already we have told in integrity, corruption wala, let's say, how to overcome. How to overcome are steps to overcome. Steps to overcome. First, follow dharma as duty. Dharma as duty. With duty ethics of Immanuel Kant. With duty ethics of Immanuel Kant. Next, emotional intelligence and ethical leadership. Emotional intelligence and ethical leadership. Ethical leadership. Next, courage of conviction and moral fortitude. Courage of conviction and moral fortitude. Moral fortitude. Protection of honest officers. Protection of honest officers. Honest officers. Okay. Next, adoption of whistleblowing law. Adoption of whistleblowing law. Next, integrity pact. Integrity pact. So these things can be the steps. Right? नहीं. It is not implementing whistleblowing law, we are saying. Now the last is key probity is essential. This then socioeconomic development. How probity is essential for socioeconomic development?
तो जो बेसिक चीज है तो वैल्यूज में डिफरेंस आएगा सीधा समाज में
Rather, you can link with, let's say, corruption. Let's say how there are, let's say, different types of corruption. This of corruption, let's say you have socioeconomic lack of probity. The lack of probity, what happens? The lack of probity is another name of corruption. Why? You can have fake beneficiaries. Fake beneficiaries, let's say, this confined. Or bribe, let's say that. Bribes culture we can have. This. Or complacency we can have. There can be complacency like this. So culture of complacency, you can see, culture of bribe, fake beneficiaries. आप किसी भी एक एग्जाम्पल को दे रहे हो, मान लो गवर्नमेंट ने दिया है एक्स ग्रेशिया हेल्प, एक्स ग्रेशिया हेल्प, बट ये फंड किसको जाएगा? फंड किसको जाएगा? एक्स ग्रेशिया हेल्प, राइट. जननी सुरक्षा स्कीम. In जननी सुरक्षा scheme, let's say that government gives, let's say, for each assisted delivery, the government gives, let's say that the families for public, let's say, assisted delivery, so it gives some funds, let's say, I think 1500, 2000, 5000 stipend देती है. Each delivery अगर होता है मान लो, so if you do delivery, means delivery happens in a public hospital, there is a record on this, the government pays certain stipend. Yes, government pays a stipend of 5000, that I do not know how much it is paid, but government pays a stipend. अब बताओ उसमें कैसे कैसे करप्शन हुआ होगा? डेटा मैनिपुलेट किया, राइट? तो डेटा को मैनिपुलेट किया उन्होंने. This how data manipulated? तो मान लो कोई ऑफिसर है एसडीएम, जो ऑफिसर है जिसके अंडर में वो इम्प्लीमेंटेशन है, तो उसने ये शो किया है कि उसके फैमिली में ही रिलेटिव दिस एंड दैट कई सारे डिलीवरी हुआ है, राइट? कई सारे डिलीवरी उसी के फैमिली में हुआ है, और एक विमेन का शो किया है कि उसके 11 चिल्ड्रन है. कौन वेरीफाई करने जाता है? हु इज गोइंग टू वेरीफाई कि इस वुमेन का कमला देवी को 11 बच्चे हैं कि नहीं है, कमला देवी है भी कि नहीं है? ये किसने शेयर किया? ऑडिटर और वन स्टूडेंट अवनिंदर राय, राइट? तो अवनिंदर राय इज इन सिविल अकाउंट सर्विस, दिस नाउ इन अकाउंट एंड ऑडिट सर्विस. तो उसने ऑडिट किया था ये सब. तो ये लोग शेयर करते रहते हैं. उसका बेनिफिट ये हो कि हम लोगों को थोड़ा रियल नॉलेज मिलता है. ही इज टोल्ड हर कि कैसे स्कीम का डेटा मैनिपुलेट होता है, ठीक है, तो the person who is enforcing the law in his family himself he has paid a stipend to many such women, right? And who do not have children, let's say that of that number. And one lady has been shown कि she had 11 children. एक्चुअल में जब वो वेरीफाई करने गए तो पता चला कि उसके बच्चे मतलब 1-2 बच्चे हैं, 11 बच्चे नहीं है, राइट? आप वहां तक जाओगे नहीं वेरीफाई करने के लिए. विल यू गो इन दैट विलेज एरिया? यू विल नॉट वेंचर आउट, राइट? इफ यू एट ऑल लेट्स से वेंचर आउट, तो आपको इतना ज्यादा जैसे कि रिसेप्शन, पता ही है आपको क्या किया जाता है, isn't it? They will try to make you happy, this and that, through reception, अच्छे अच्छे खाना खिलाएंगे, स्वीट एक्सेट्रा, isn't it? देसी ओरिजिनल जो होता है, साहब ये लीजिए, ये दही है, घर का बना हुआ है, आपने कभी खाया नहीं होगा. Sorry to say that. Right. So that is how it is. Anyhow, so the question is, right? Yes, this is how someone is writing. So yes, this is how we'll find this. It can be linked with PDS also. Yes, there are so many things you can link. PDS maybe quality of grains, you can say that. The quality of grains in PDS plus the weighing that they do that. The weighing itself, they are giving you 5 kg. In actual practice, it will be 4 kg. That can be. Then this courtyard shelter, food grain given to small children every month are sold in black. This is how you'll find this. आंगनवाड़ी, तो बहुत सारे चीजें हैं ना, तो probity etc. That is how you can link that. Since because of that lots of corruptions happen and benefits do not reach to those targeted people. Simple that due to lack of probity, it can happen that whatever we are spending for development, we have to spend 2 to 3 times to get the same result. You have to spend 2 to 3 times to get the same result. With probity, you can spend once, there can be result. With this lack of probity, this is how it means that there will be slow socio-economic development, slow progress. That is how corruption brings slow progress, and that way you can link and write on this. That is how the question. Then how to promote this and that can be written, right? Yes.